Hello, everyone. Nerd Bible Contact.
Who is that
at
somebody?
gmail.com. I'm saying the email for some reason.
At email.com.
email.com.
Nerd
I think there is an email.com, just like.
Let's find out live on the air.
And is it about emails? Sorry, Nerd Bible Podcast, everyone. Hello, I'm George, that's Connor.
Hello, yes.
And we are two people that talk about pop culture and the internet. A brand new genre.
I mean, convert email.com with a fucking caution sign, so it's probably not a legit site. Email marketing, email security, and free personal email. I'm going to go and get the fuck out of that site.
That did look...
Email.com.
That looked like someone made that in year 10 ICT.
Yes.
But
WordPress free shit.
What episode is this? Is this like... What the fuck is this? Is it 3... do you know what it is? I forget the numbers.
You know, you've been spot on the last.
237.
237.
Do you know what? For some reason, I nearly said like 300. I was like, no, that can't be right.
Surely.
I've not done 100. There's been 104 episodes.
Well, it's like Michelle Pfeiffer says in the newest TV spot for Quantumania, Kang conquers timeline. So maybe who's to say he already hasn't? Who's to say he's a multimedia conglomerate that has affected the real world?
Are you excited for the fact? Yeah, so we just, if you're new to this,
just a random spiel.
If you're new to this, we jump in. Sometimes there's a topic, sometimes there's not.
There isn't.
That's the magic of cinema
And podcasting.
I'm excited at the prospect of a Janet Van Dyne led story.
100% in this one especially.
Because I like Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah,
I think she's a good Janet.
she's the best Catwoman.
That's a whole different
and
crossover.
There's and I'm trying to think what else she's been in on top of my head, but I feel like I've seen her and stuff, but I haven't.
Yeah, she's been around, but when she was cast as, because everyone's expecting Catherine Zeta-Jones to be cast as Michael Douglas's wife, because she actually is his wife.
Yes.
And it was like Michelle Pfeiffer was like, oh, that's interesting, because it's another thing. It's like the Keaton thing. You've had someone that's dabbled in this universe
like
before,
3-4 decades ago.
For them, it was just a one and done, and now suddenly it's like, there are consequences. Like, you have to remember other stuff that's happened. And this is it's going to be the second film where she's part of the main cast, because she's a post-credit scene of Infinity War.
She isn't.
It's just. Is it really just Ant-Man and the Wasp and the end of Endgame? Is it really that?
So you see, you see the Michael Douglas flashback of them in the rocket in Ant-Man 1, and they use for Wasp, but you don't see her unmasked
because we don't. She wasn't cast in the first one because it was like it's a thread. That's weird that this is only going to be the second full movie she's in, and the third time we've seen. Oh, God. The thing is, I love Janet as a character. Because she goes through some stuff. Because, spoilers for comics, Hank, alcoholic, and beats her up sometimes, and that's
that is not okay.
That is
Mickey Mouse was not approved.
You can't hit her.
Yeah, I'll fucking do it again.
Fucking love those goofy sketches.
Sketches.
It's going to be nice that because Hank's always been sort of like the in character into this world, because. Hank was the Ant-Man, and then
the original Ant-Man, yeah.
Scott is the predominant one that is used within the MCU, which I still think is the best decision that they could have done.
Sensible, yeah.
Because I think the danger of having it be Hank Pym from the off would have been you would have had like two Tony Starks.
You would have,
and you would have always come off second best to Robert Downey Jr. because no one would have done as good of a job.
No,
I think
no
because
offense to Mr. Douglas, even
and it's a reason I think that I'm not saying because they hadn't bought out Fox. They were in the process of doing it when Endgame was coming out, weren't they?
Yeah.
But also, I think it's a reason why we're never going to probably see Reed Richards and Tony Stark together. Also,
yeah. And I feel like it'll be another Illuminati multiversal.
There'll be stuff like
movie situation.
I wouldn't be surprised if RDJ cameoed in Secret Wars. And then you had the MCU. Reed was in that film,
yeah.
I don't think that they would ever be like part of a
hologram,
like a proper team up of them being, because some of those, it's easy for some of those characters to fall into sort of the same
brackets, tiers of people, similarities in that.
But mate, 2025 is going to be a good year. We know that for
2025.
but so
we can get there.
Is it next week or week after for Ant-Man?
Quantumania, so it will be
18th. So that's not next Friday.
17th. It's where's my bloody calendar? It is 2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today.
2 weeks today, when it comes out. Yeah.
Yes, the day it's out. Yes, this is definitely Friday.
Yeah.
I want some good, because Jonathan Major's been talking about how like they're very much like opposites to each other, and that's why they work well as a hero versus a villain, because Scott's very jokey.
Yeah.
Kang is very serious. Like he said, like he has a sense of humour, and you'll see that as he goes on and develops, not just in this film.
And the variants.
But he's like, the one thing you learn is that he doesn't joke like about what he said. Like what he says is what he means, kind of thing. Like
he's in the name. He's a bloody conqueror. He's a conqueror.
Yes.
They've got a lot. Like conquerors don't have much time for humour.
Do you think Ant-Man's gonna die?
My gut says yes, but whether or not they will die and then he will survive until... But then you can't have him trapped in the quantum realm in Ant-Man for then him to come out and go, hey, it's me, I'm part of the Avengers, it's Scott. Like, you can't have that again.
No. Especially because then is it the thing of every Ant-Man film ends with Scott getting trapped in the quantum realm?
And he's the one that's going to get the heroes together and go, hey guys, I'm the plot device that's going to kick Thanos' ass. Like, and I'm going to go up his butt, maybe, if you're lucky.
Have you seen The Boys?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I feel like yes, but then there will be some Avengers Secret War reversal and a Ant-Man variant will live. Because we see like multiple variants of Scott in the Quantum Mania trailer, yeah.
Or maybe one of them. Yeah, because I think to waste Paul Rudd is to waste eternal youth, and that's bad.
It's a fountain.
I can't wait for it. Like,
the fountain of Paul.
I think
the bank of Dave. We've got to have the fountain of Paul. Paul McGann, Paul Rudd.
Maybe it's people called Paul that are in like were born.
The fountain pool.
In like the fucking 70s. That are just well, no, because he's 60 now, Paul McGann. Paul McGann's in his 60s.
God, he don't look it.
That man has a glorious face. So glorious, in fact, that they didn't give him a career in TV. They put him on audio plays for Big Finish.
Yeah,
that is the shame. Yeah. The most beautiful Doctor is
who arguably has the best voice, and he doesn't. Yeah, like you say, he can't share his face.
No, locked away. Alarm clocks. This booth. Fucking locked in it. But no, as like we're all like, I'm really excited for this. I think.
Oh yes.
2022.
Yes.
I don't think it did damage, but I think it was the hype for Doctor Strange outweighed what was actually there. But when you look at Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness, it was very enjoyable.
Yeah, definitely an enjoyable film. Yeah.
Thor: Love and Thunder flattered to deceive, and it did.
That was a disappointment.
Sort of eat its own tail and swim up its own arse a bit, but
yeah, that was a disappointment.
And as a result of it, I was kind of not like
put off or put out because we
were
still watching the shows and everything.
Sort of cautious of like do I need to watch this one? Like, does this need to happen?
There was like 8 projects. There was like 8 projects last year, and again, similar to what we discussed the other night, they don't feel interconnected at all. I know this is about legacy and rebirth and new beginnings for some of these majority of these characters.
Like again, but I think it'll be from Phase 5 onwards. It's going to be more.
Quantumania and I guess Secret Invasion. Because we know Secret Invasion will lead into a couple of the other shows, and then from there they will all kind of then go. That one's got to be before that one, then that one's before that one.
Well, even then, it was a bit of a break, but they've all slightly had mysteries drop of like this is going to come up later, like since WandaVision. But and I was kind of I was put off by the hype of Doctor Strange, but then when I watched it for the second time, knowing it and the level that it was, and then having the 4DX experience, I think was tippity fucking top.
Yeah, it was a good experience.
And I was kind of apprehensive for stuff after Love and Thunder, but I think
understandable.
Not for Black Panther, because I think Black Panther, I was just like intrigued of how are we doing this without it,
the situation,
without the main character,
without
such a beloved cast member by not just people that worked on the Black Panther
but
films,
the planet, the whole world.
People that had worked with him previously, people that hadn't, that were part of the MCU that hadn't worked with him, that were probably hoping that at some point their characters would cross paths. Like, it's mental. But
tragic.
That was, for me, like, I know a lot of people say they did, like a lot of people said that the film they enjoyed most out of the 2022 stuff was Doctor Strange, just because it was more fun. It is a dour film, but I just love how personal it is in a sci-fi sort of landscape. And I think it was done very well, and I can't wait to see.
And respectfully.
And I can't wait to see what they do in the future with that. But, you know, we always say that because we fucking love Marvel. But they don't pay us. No one pays us. Not even TikTok. Did you know we have a TikTok?
Yeah.
We actually use that. I was happy that we used that.
No, this isn't a news ad that you've heard for the last 6 months. We actually did go on TikTok. So if you haven't followed our channels, if you haven't searched on TikToks, like I know half of you people on your phone right now. Yes, you, Jimmy in the corner. Search Tasty Sheep on TikTok right now.
I'm Jimmy
find
in
us
the corner.
And me and my awkward voice and that awkward video which I would remake by Thanos. Clicking my fingers, I would delete it and bring it back. Personally, but that's just for my performance.
There you go. But no, because
TikTok.
It's like with Twitch, like it's like Twitch we've like dabbled in, but never had the full setup for. TikTok we've kind of used. We're not used. It's been there. Like it's been basically a placeholder so that we have the fucking username. And 2 days ago, or 2 days of recording this, basically like Tuesday, we actually did a
welcome to the channel.
I love how our TikTok account has a welcome video when the YouTube one still doesn't, but it will because it's part of the change. It's stuff that we'll probably like in the next week or so actually start saying like, you know, this is what this is, this is what this is, because a lot stuff that will be on TikTok, solely on TikTok. Some stuff will be sort of
cross-platform. Yeah.
Some will be
multiversal. You might say.
Also seeing
multiversal.
But yeah, we're going to just try and utilize the market and actually just
wing it a bit.
Because we kind of said like before, like we had like our one and only good run from start to finish, like January to December of a year, was 2019. Because
full year,
we've had pandemics and children and
no
job changes.
Last of Us Chernobyl infection. Yeah,
but yeah, so this is really. I think I think after we done it, I don't know about you, like I was kind of like especially seeing the analytics, it was kind of like, oh, this is go time. Let's fucking smash this shit out.
It's a step in the right direction, yeah.
And we've nearly got more followers on TikTok than we have on Twitter, and that's quite.
And that's just from two days ago. So keep the momentum going. Don't let it stop.
Yeah,
please.
So just to basically cap over it, Connor will do like spoiler-free reviews and stuff on it. It'll
instant reaction, hot takes of kind of stuff I've seen.
More of. Like, it will allow people to just see more of you personally, which will be sort of like a...
I'll try and make it, like, vary between video to video, but as soon as we both learn how to edit and make the videos more appealing to how...
Fucking edit in general, mate. Look at this shit. Look at this. Terrible.
I mean, you're not looking right now. You're just hearing us.
Hello. But yeah, so it's you know... We can say for that. We'll say more once we know. We'll do...
We have an actual pipeline.
We want to do... a sort of update video / you know, this is what the channel is kind of thing, but we've got stuff and, you know, stuff that is happening. But before we do that, let's freeze for the thumbnail.
Yes, let me take a selfie. Cringy song.
When was that? Was like 2013. No, oh my god, I'm not looking. I look like I'm blind. Look.
That you're Charlie Cox. You're auditioning.
I am the devil.
I am the daredevil. I am the daredevil.
Beautiful. So we got, because normally we have like loads of shit, but one of the things we did, we'll do the main thing at the end because that's the DC stuff. Oh no!
Wait, what? DC have actually got things that have been spoke about this week.
DC have done things and are doing things and may do things again.
Oh, for the next 2 years at least.
Yes. So. We'll do the Marvel stuff first for once.
Who would have guessed?
Rumour has it from Thunderbolts that Ghost is no longer part of the movie.
Wah, wah, wah. I have not heard about this.
But
what?
What's her?
What's
her name?
Hannah. I want to say Hannah John Carmen.
You know more than me, mate.
Hannah John Carmen, yes. Hannah Dominique E. John Carmen is an English actress. I won't give you her whole life story, but essentially she was in Ant-Man and the Wasp as the villain, and then she was rumoured to be part of the Thunderbolts movie, or pretty much confirmed to be in it, and now she's pulled out, or she's
well, apparently she's been...
What's the latest?
The character's not going to be used in that, but will be used in another project, as yet undisclosed, whether that be a solo thing or... part of another ensemble.
I definitely see ensemble. No offence to the character, I do not know the character, or based on her one-time performance, I see her as a team-up rather than a
not like
straight
a
Disney Plus series that's not going to link to Kang in any way type thing.
No, I 100% get you. And reportedly it will feel more like a Black Widow sequel.
Yeah.
Which came from the director of visual development, Andy Park. working at Marvel Studios.
As long as it's a better and improved Black Widow, then...
Well, it makes sense because you've obviously got Red Guardian and Yelena Belova in it, so it's naturally going to feel...
It's Black Widow 1.5 to some, anyway, because of that.
Yeah, it's going to feel like a mini... It might feel like Captain America Civil War, like almost a mini Avengers...
If at best it tries to sort of replicate or won't come close to James Gunn's The Suicide Squad.
Possibly, yeah, because I like...
If it is done right.
I like when the films, like in the MCU, when it's like, other stuff happens, they don't just come together in the Avengers films. I like when they dip in and out, and like you get Falcon in Ant-Man, you get other stuff, because it's like, things
that was
world
building, that was crossovers and universe building.
And then you have the mini sort of event in Civil War.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, namesake, more in namesake only than in actual, like, storyline.
Comic book likeness, yeah.
But no, yeah, it's, I like when that kind of stuff happens, and to... if the government are making their own version of Avengers, they need to be seen doing things in Avengers-type scenarios. But they'll possibly have a soldier created. Because the rumour has it, from the rumour mill, that...
Well, have they got a replacement for Ghost?
I don't know if they got... This is a straight replacement for Ghost, but apparently Valentina Allegra de Fontaine is looking to create her own super soldier in the Thunderbolts movie.
So, not Wyatt Russell's handsome John Walker US
Not
agent?
the other super soldier she's got.
No, she's trying to create US Agent 2.0.
So, the rumour being
Yeah.
that she will create a version of Sentry.
Sentry, who I thought was a cosmic character, like Nova. I thought Sentry and Nova were linked. But what do I know?
More akin to Vision, is he?
Is he? I don't know.
Is he organic or is he...
I thought he was just another human that can fly. Oh, I looked up Nova. Shit. I've looked up the wrong person. Sentry.
I've looked up Nova shit.
Nova shit. Sentry's a superhero appearing in comic books. I mean, he looks pretty cosmic to me. He don't look very robotic.
He's like their version of Superman, isn't he?
Yeah. Just with a reverse
it could
colour?
it could be like a normal person that then gets injected with this version of a serum.
Yeah, possibly.
And then
in this universe,
becomes...
Robert Bob Reynolds. Or if his name weren't Ryan, then that would have been coincidental.
Ryan Reynolds plays Sentry and then gets killed by Deadpool.
And in Deadpool 3.
Can I just say someone that I really want to cameo in?
Who? Deadpool 3?
Do you know what? No, do you know what I want Deadpool to cameo in?
If we were to, because we've got power and we do predict some things. What in Phase 5? Are we just going to say he's going to be in this one?
Well, whenever it comes out.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are we just saying? A Phase 5 movie? He's going to appear in this.
I think I would.
What's your idea?
I would love to see Deadpool cameo in Wonder Man.
Yes. Fuck yes.
Because that is so. There is elements for fucking taking the piss out of yourself in the process.
Yeah.
Because it's a actor turned superhero.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have so much fun if Wade Wilson's there.
Yeah. Because Wonder Man's based on the show anyway. Wonder Man, the character.
You think this shit's ridiculous? You're watching it.
No, he's the one directing. Like Agatha all along, you get Deadpool in the director's
You could
chair.
maybe do like you. I wouldn't be like you could do something like that. Would be a nice, fun thing of like he doesn't have to be in the suit. Like you could just have Ryan. You could even have it just as Ryan Reynolds.
Just have some random guy who people may go, oh, I know that guy. But have Ryan Reynolds in the chair, just in the Deadpool costume without the mask, and he'd be like, huh? I've seen you before. Now that would be a cool idea. That's a cool original idea from us. That is a cool idea. About
time, really, that we had one of those. But that'd be something that I'd be really fucking down for to see that. But
we need to manifest that now.
Manifest me, boy. What else? Jesus Christ. I don't have any other.
Sentry just to me looks like Adam Warlock.
But then would they change the look? Because Adam Warlock looks... He's got a gold face, so...
Yeah.
They'll be able to tell him apart, surely.
Absolutely. But it's just weird. Sentry. I mean, I won't be against it if he's a super soldier in this universe, then fine.
I mean, it would be one way to... Because I like how they sort of streamlined a lot of the early stuff was just through the Tesseract. Mm-hmm. Like, we thought... And then, it turns out later, we thought that Wanda and... Pietro got their powers through, the Tesseract, but it just enhanced a mutation that was already there.
Yes.
Which is how retroactively, when you don't own mutants and now own mutants, that's how you make mutants work.
Equations
and
formulas.
science and fucking chromosomes. So they're making a Tomb Raider series over at Amazon.
They are,
and
aren't they? Yes.
It's going to get Phoebe Waller-Bridge is going to be the writer of this series. As yet
Okay.
undetermined how many episodes there shall be, and whether it'll be a straight on like Lara Croft's in it, or if it's just the world.
I read that they are trying to make a universe out of it.
A universe,
like an MCU, the TCU, the TRU, the Tomb Raider universe, the TRU, the
Truman Show.
What?
Oh,
what? Okay.
No, that'd be cool.
Lara Croft kind of needs a bit of a reboot.
Because the games are okay and they get slightly worse as they go on.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Speaking about getting as bad as you go on, DC!
Da-da-da-da.
We finally had the big announcement we've been waiting for.
The plans, the schematics, the layout, the formula. Back to formula.
What is it called, Connor?
Gods and Monsters. Almost a rip-off of Injustice Gods Among Us, but Gods and Monsters.
I did not notice that. Yes.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Instead of... There is no Phase 1. There is Chapter 1.
Real original.
Chapter 1.
I like it.
I don't remember what incarnation I... Oh, no, wrong one. So, the DC slate for the DCU. Officially, the DCU.
No EU, no extended crap. It's just... this new universe.
That was never given to them by the production team. Never gave it that thing. It was given to them, and they kind of just were stuck with it. And they didn't. I think they famously didn't like it, but
extended. We can't extend because of contractual reasons and rival networks.
Surely it should be the DCCU, the Detective Comics Cinematic Universe. Unless you're
the Detective Comics Cena universe, you can see this.
Otherwise, it's the DC universe, like DC Comics, or the D stands for the DC, so it's the DC Cinematic Universe.
Exactly. Yeah, come on.
Anacronyms.
Yeah,
who really
get
cares?
it right.
Yeah. So James Gunn did a nice little video on Twitter. We have a video for that, which is either out or about to be out, because things. We sort of just reacted to it as surprise because it was kind of like this happened just before you got here, so I was like, let's have a look.
Yeah, let's unravel.
But now we've had a couple of days. We can go over the plans.
Yes.
To the Death Star. The Death Star plans are not in the main computer. So, we have HBO Max shows.
We do.
We got movies.
And games.
But no games were announced. So, Chapter 1, well, not all of Chapter 1, because he even said, there's some other stuff I've not said yet. I can't say it, because there's one... Didn't you send me things there's one title that would give it away what the next one is? Or was that something that I had?
For what? I don't know, maybe you. I don't remember manifesting this. Or is this for one particular title, or just... what was this for, as such?
No, it was just... There was a thing, I think I saw it on Twitter, it might have been the Discussing Film account,
post.
that was because obviously he didn't announce everything, he said there's one thing that they wouldn't say because the title would kind of give away the direction where it's going.
You may have mentioned this the other night then, okay.
So, should we start off with the films?
Yes, go for it.
We're starting with, film-wise, because he said this is... Well, actually, let's take it back, because...
Yeah, okay. Let's rewind.
He talks about... bring it back now, y'all. He talks about the films that are already coming out.
Yes.
He said, the first thing we got, Shazam 2.
Shazam
fabulous.
2. In about 2 months' time? Yeah,
yes,
so
I look forward to that. Maybe less so with the comments of Zachary Levi, but we'll get onto that. He's and then we got Flash. The Flash is a fantastic movie, and he calls it possibly the greatest comic movie ever made.
Right, we shall see.
I don't think it's not even going to be the best DC film they've ever made, because it's not fucking Superman the movie, The Dark Knight,
right. Batman 89. If you want to go extended DC, Watchmen, V for Vendetta,
the Batman.
The Batman, yeah.
We got confirmation on that. But that's going to be the change of the unit, because they basically said we basically went, it's going to Flashpoint.
It's Flashpoint, yeah.
What it was going to be before, when they were we're in a mess and people want to leave. Let's do Flashpoint, and then we'll have
kill them off.
We'll have different people playing them, and they won't know.
No one saw this coming.
So we're looking forward to that, and then surprisingly, Aquaman 2 is going to start with the thread that leads into the DCU.
The DCU, yes.
Because is this retroactively going to be are the DCEU stuff, is it retroactively all going to be the DCU, and is it going to be on like a timeline like Star Wars, like before the Battle of Yavin and shit like that, like BF before Flashpoint?
So BBDCEUY and then ABDCEUY. Star Wars jokes.
That was a good one. I literally was trying to sound it out in my head. I was like, oh no, yeah,
proper acronym. That's an acronym and a half.
That's a fucking mouthful. So, but there's going to be an Aquaman 3, possibly. Was a thing that was teased by Peter Safran. He said that it was always seen as a trilogy.
Jason, whether you like it or not, you're finishing this trilogy,
so
baby.
He might not necessarily be Lobo as was previously rumoured.
He was hoping for. He put a tweet and he was kind of like, "Oh, I've had a discussion with James Gunn and like something about opportunities came up and like one of my particular dreams or something can come true or something corny like that." Paraphrasing slightly, but
that might be about completing Aquaman.
Maybe it might be. It might be. People read it as Lobo, but it could be just an Aquaman series.
So, we'll go over the ins and outs of what that means, but and then that leads into the first major film of the DCU, the new timeline, the new thing. As Dave Bautista said, he's rebooting it because he wants younger actors. Well, obviously, like to paraphrase Deadpool 2, he needs to be young enough to carry their own franchise for the next 10 to 12 years.
Yeah, it's the business formula that works, people.
And if done well, there's some interesting stuff here. Superman Legacy.
Superman Legacy
that kicks it off. Because I think it's going to be, especially because HBO Max is not over here.
But Max will be soon.
But
Max.
We won't have as much access to the series at present.
No, we won't.
The thing that everyone's going to see is going to be the films, because a new Superman film with a younger Clark Kent on his formative years, I'm down for.
Fully Boy Scout Superman. Actually, no offense to Mr. Cavill, but actually has a chance to be the all-American hero Superman, the icon, the symbol of hope.
Do you know what's going to hurt? It's going to be like watching the Batman, where it's like, if they'd have done the Batfleck one like they wanted to do like this, then it would have been really good.
Yeah,
it would be like, it's a great actor who's actually being allowed to play Superman,
the character. Yeah,
which Henry Cavill deserved the chance for, but alas. We've got, what's the other film? We got the
Batman Part 2 in both 2025.
That's Elseworld stuff.
Oh,
we're talking the main timeline, because they've already got an Elseworlds.
Well, wait, the Flash is hopping in between 2025 to do another fucking movie that's going to make all the worlds combine. No!
Everything's exploded.
Bruce, James is the key.
What's it called?
I don't know. It's Superman Legacy. The other one that I'd said, but then...
The one we didn't know. What was the people that like the X-Men weird...
not Creature... That's series.
No, Creature Commandos was a TV show. I talk about the... It's like the... Oh, what is it? It's...
Mind fart. We're having a proper mind fart.
Oh, man.
Peacemaker spin-off. Lantern series, Authorities.
The Authority. The Authority movie. That's the one.
That's a movie. I swear that was a series. That's a movie.
That's a movie, yeah.
So that is going to be...
Back to Movie Projects, another one of James Gunn's passion project,
The Authority.
Which, at present, we know nothing about, but they'll probably...
And it's a Wildstorm imprint, kind of similar to, I know, The Boy. The Boys isn't Wildstorm, is it? The Boys is another imprint that is from...
I think it's a different one, but I don't know what... But yes, that's similar vein, isn't it? So he made the Guardians of the Galaxy household names, and you know.
But now they're bringing The Authority to the big screen.
$1 million franchise, so we'll see. I'm interested. I'm not sold on it, but it's something that James Gunn's making it, so it'll probably be good. We've got a Supergirl movie.
A Supergirl movie, yeah.
Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Which will be, it's basically, hopefully, if the way they're going to do Superman, it's going to be run the Supergirl film will happen concurrently with the Superman film
universe,
because he basically says that in the based off of the comic, Clark obviously goes to Earth, gets raised by a loving family. In this one, Kara gets she's in the ruins of Krypton and is by herself and is a more jaded character. Will obviously come together and end up on Earth. Yeah, but it will sort of be the symmetry, the line of these characters developing similar things but in totally different environments.
Yeah.
So that'll be
opposite mirrors. Yeah, one's going to look after the other, one from another world, one from our planet. Alien love story.
Alien love stories, indeed. Just like, speaking of love stories, a new Batman film.
Oh, and this one's all filled with love because it's not just Batman; it's Robin as well. No, it's not Chris O'Donnell. No, he hasn't got nipples. It's none other than Damian Wayne. And if you don't know who Damian Wayne is, he is none other than Batman's son.
The third Robin?
Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Damian, and then it's the girl one. So Damian's the fourth.
Damian's the fourth one?
Yeah, I think the fourth.
Tim Drake. Tim Drake's the shit one, right?
Dick Grayson 0.5. Yeah, he's the forgotten one.
Because I like Dick Grayson.
Yeah,
Nightwing. Then Dick Grayson becomes Nightwing.
Yeah. Then Jason comes
Jason Todd then dies,
becomes Red Hood.
So he doesn't. He dies before he can become a bad Robin.
Yeah, exactly. Tim Drake
unfortunately doesn't die before he becomes a bad Robin.
He fulfills that role. Yeah. And then Damian Wayne is some product of a love child, which I think Talia al Ghul
was the yeah. Which, when she was in Dark Knight Rises, everyone was like, "Oh, are they going to do a pregnancy thing?" And it's like, "No, because Christopher Nolan cannot do Robins. There will be no Robins in my media franchise. For I am Chris Nolan. You will see what I have created,
and you will see what I will do with my Superman. But no, not Super. As in
I'm
Superman.
It's
Darkman.
It's weird that he became the So he was the name on the stuff for when the DCU started.
Yeah.
Because it was like him and his wife were executive producers on Man of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
And then Deborah and Zack Snyder became that because then they were the producers on other stuff.
Yeah.
Even if they weren't like wholeheartedly involved, but it was their overall tone, and it was like, oh, it's Zack's vision. But it's like, it's weird how they just like transitioned.
They did transition, yeah.
From one Batman director to another wannabe Batman director.
Yeah.
Why didn't Zack Snyder just make a Batman film? I know it was too soon after like Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises, yeah.
But just be like, look, I'm made for Batman. Give like someone else like Superman, and then I'll have Batman, and then we'll do the crossover where they meet. Like if they'd fuck off. Honestly,
we could.
the DCU video is fucking pending. I tell you that.
Oh,
but yeah,
that's a Doctor Who length extravaganza special.
Yeah, I was going to say that Chris Nolan would end up like the creature from the Lazarus Experiment. In Doctor Who, like he just mutates and it's just Chris Nolan's head on a big fucking. It'll be a practical body because I don't do CGI. I do it for real. I dropped a real atom bomb on Cillian Murphy's head.
70mm IMAX, proper cinema.
Yeah, we'll do a thing with it. If we did a like Dark Knight trilogy thing, we'd have to do like the aspect ratio changing every 20 seconds.
We'd have to do it every 20 seconds. Yeah,
we'll do everything for the DCU in slow mo and in sepia. But
why not?
I don't know, man. Yeah, so like, I think that they've also not put Batman in the title just to not confuse anyone. Because I don't think it clear, like you said, we have confirmation of the Batman Part 2.
Yes, Robert Pattinson's Batman Part 2. Yes, the amazing movie from earlier last year, nearly a year ago by the time of recording. How is it 11 months?
January was really quick this year.
But it was dry.
Maybe we're just old and
dying, but it's still 11 months. That was like I saw it the 4th of March. That was the IMAX like one day early showing. It was the 4th of March. How is it nearly a year ago? That's ridiculous. But yeah, Robert Pattinson's Batman Part 2, Elseworlds, the first Elseworlds, official Elseworlds.
So what is Elseworlds, Connor, for those that don't know at home?
A film that's not part of a universe and it's a singular entity, and it doesn't link with nothing. So when you think, oh, he's going to meet new Superman, he's going to meet Damian Wayne, and wait, hang on, Batman's the real father. No, it doesn't matter. There's no Damian.
Imagine Jerry Springer. You Batman.
You the dad. I love you, Damian.
Martha, why did you say that name?
No, so it's a singular entity, doesn't matter. Kind of like Joker Part 2, fully adieu, Frenchy fancy title, something like that. I can't. Sorry for the French viewers, we butchered it.
For basically a shared sort of like, it's almost like psychosis dream state.
Yeah,
it's a shared madness, basically.
Shared madness. I like that title because again, Harley Quinzel in some form will be in that movie,
played by none other than Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
So it was that. Was there another one that was confirmed for DC Elseworlds? Because if it's not part of the DCU slate and it's a separate thing, because he said like he's not touching the Batman Reeves verse.
Yeah, Matt Reeves cinematography, excellent verse. Yeah, leave that. alone verse.
Which is good, because then that's one thing they have up on Marvel, because they have the rights to all their characters, so they could just make, because Joker and the Batman will retroactively also be DC Elseworlds stuff. So when you see the Elseworlds logo, you'll be like, oh, it's not. I don't have to pay attention to this.
10 other films down the line.
Justice League Doomsday Part 4 or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Doomsday Part 5. Oh shit, we've got to go back in time. Oh no.
Back in time to when everyone was Ezra Miller and fucking Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Lois is the key. Too bad we didn't do that storyline.
Yeah.
But that's cool that we've got an Elseworlds.
Yeah, I think they are the only two Elseworlds at the minute, officially.
But that's nice that there is the thing of a separate a universe within a universe. That's like 16 universes.
Yeah, by the time DCEU gets to Phase 4, we would have had maybe, I predict, 8 Elseworlds, maybe 2 per chapter phase. 2 per chapter, maybe, ideally.
I think their chapters might go a little bit longer than Marvel. I feel like it won't be a sort of like a...
It's just this one at the minute is, 2025 is the start. We don't know when it will end.
He said a 10-year. He said a 10-year plan. So I assume that we'll have at least 2 chapters. We'll have maybe one Justice League film with like a pseudo threat, and then a big. Not. I don't think fucking
a 3-year phase, a 3 year.
What's his name? Shit Thanos. What's his name?
Shit Thanos.
Grey Thanos. What's his name? Darkseid? Yes. Darkseid.
Oh wow, yeah. Sorry, yeah. I was thinking Marvel characters, but yeah, Darkseid. Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Rockman.
Yeah, I did. Rockman and Lizard Boy. I don't think he'll be a chapter 2 thing. I think it'll seeded more. I think it'll be more of a long game, because we're going to have a lot of TV shows. Like, what ones have we got?
Green Lantern, or just lanterns. Multiple lanterns.
This is the one I'm most excited for, because one, we're getting Green
Lantern. We need it.
Stuff.
He needs it the most.
Do you think if they'd have... Because Green Lantern was meant to retroactively be the start of the DCEU.
What a different universe that would have been.
Which would have been weird, because then you would have had Mark Strong be the villain twice.
Yeah.
How many
How
villains
do you explain
Mark
that
Strong
one?
Be? So Sinestro,
Dr.
fucking Dr. Savannah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Dr. Savannah. Havana.
You could have had him voice Mr. Mind.
You could have. Who did voice Mr. Mind?
I don't actually know. If you can find that, I will give you a chocolate coin made of not real chocolate, because I don't have any coins.
Out of budget.
What else?
Mr. Mind voice.
Who's
Who's
the fucking villain that John Barrowman plays in Green Arrow?
Malcolm Merlin, the Dark Archer.
Stick a wig on Mark Strong. That's his game doing them.
Malcolm Merlin,
and not just because he's bald, but Lex Luthor.
Mark Strong with Lex. I mean, that would have been better than Jesse Eisenberg. No offense.
Then what else? So we've got him. We've now got him as Lex Luthor, Mr. Mind, and fucking
Malcolm Merlin.
What's Mark Hamill's character in The Flash?
What, the Trickster?
Yes.
Oh my god, the Trickster.
Well, because technically there was you could have had a Joker meet Mark Hamill's character, and then you could have had it's 2 Jokers. But we'll just have every Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill.
The Mark Hamill there.
It's the Mark Hamill, Mark Strong universe. Villains are either played by Mark Strong or Mark Hamill.
I feel like he should have been a Gotham villain. So he could have been like a Carmine Falcone. I think he could have been.
He could have been Carmine Falcone in the Batman. That's an Elseworlds.
Yeah.
Mr. Freeze in the Batman.
Oh no! Perfect.
We'll do him in Brave and the Bold, because then he can be a bit campy.
Give him a bit of a break.
Not serious enough. No, but he could do either version. Play both two Mr. Freezes. 2 scoops of the Mr. Freeze, please.
I scream.
He can play. He could play Amanda Waller in the Waller TV series.
Oh no!
But for real, bring her back as Sinestro in the Lanterns show. Who else? Have him play Ocean Master, the new Ocean Master. When you cast Jason Momoa as Lobo,
Captain Cold. That's Captain Cold.
Starro the Conqueror. You could have had Mark Strong be the Thinker. Realistically, you could have.
Yeah.
What else? Harley Quinn.
What the fuck? No, genuinely, I think brief divergent. Mark Strong could have been a MODOK instead of Corey Stowe. I think he could have been a good
Mark
MODOK.
Strongdock.
Mark Strongdock.
I love
MS Doc.
Doc.
Microsoft Doc.
It's like Miss Pac-Man. Miss Doc.
Miss Doc. Mark Strong is
It's just MODOK, but there's some of the metal on the chair just goes out into a frilly dress. And he's got a metal bow on his head. Oh, Corey Stoll and Mark Strong, Mr. and Ms. MODOK,
sponsored by Microsoft.
And then what they do is they just make a live-action version of the MODOK show with Patton Oswalt.
What have we done? We've just done a Crisis on Infinite multiverse.
Jesus Christ!
Oh,
the TV shows.
Green Lanterns.
Yes.
Which I hope has the Loon Turn in it. Donald Duck, Dappy Duck.
Yeah, definitely. We might get Abin Sur, because we'll get the handoff. Like, will this be the origin story for the Green Lanterns? Because they described it as they're basically intergalactic police, kind of like True Detective, but in space. And I was like, that sounds cool.
It sounds good. But multiple True Detective Lanterns.
Yeah, because he
said
said
Jordan and John Stewart.
Yeah, he said we might see a few more as well. Because I forget who the third one is, but I don't really care.
The Ginger
Ryan Reynolds, the one that 10 years ago should have been played by Idris Elba.
Yeah,
that's John Stewart.
The Guy Gardner, the ginger one.
Guy Gardner, the ginger. They call him Guy Ginger Gardner.
Guy Ginger Gardner.
I should play him. Mark Strong. Get that wig. You should get that wig from Venom. That fucking Cletus Cassidy wig. You just Woody Harrelson comes in and gives him the wig like a crowning ceremony and goes, "You are the Ronald McDonald now."
You are the gardener. You are the gardener to my guy. You are the gardener to my green.
Jesus.
Green Lanterns, mates. Whatever the rhyme is, something.
Brightest day, blackest night.
Yes, it.
No evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship,
especially this week,
beware my power. Guy Gardner's haircut.
God.
Oh, honestly,
Jesus Christ.
Fabulous. Guy Gardner. Yeah. So, we'll see a couple more.
Yeah, multiple.
Not just the human ones, hopefully more the alien ones like Abin Sur, Kilowog. The other one from the Green Lantern movie, whose name I can't remember.
Batman, diverging to Brave and the Bold.
Yes.
And the Arkham Knight game. There was a skin called Zur-Arno, which is like a red, purple, and yellow. Isn't Zur-Arno the actual Zur-Arno thing? Not the costume, but isn't that linked to the lanterns in some way?
I think so. I don't think it's a green one.
No.
The green one.
It's like a yellow and purple and red.
Jesus Christ, you turned into a bit of a Rick. Don't commit any fucking sexual abuse acts, for fuck's sake. Yeah, Justin Roiland. Bad man. And I kind of thought, should Rick and Morty end? And I was like, maybe.
Maybe
he should have.
Delano decided to become a version of Batman. Oh, he's not even Bruce Wayne. Oh, okay. It's just an original. He's from an alien world, and it's an alien that then became Batman.
It's Alien Batman. It's Alien Man.
An Alien Man.
Is that Alien an orphan from the fucking theatre as well?
What movie were they watching in space? What were they watching in space?
Shrek 2 in space.
Pasty sheep. Watching
Can
us.
you imagine if people are fucking watching this in like a few years' time? They're like,
but on the big screen.
Imagine if we get to a point where we're actually sustainable, and it's like, how the fuck did these guys make money? Jesus Christ!
Jesus Christ, indeed.
So we're getting the Lantern show. Sounds good. We're getting the Creature Commandos, which is a classic James Gunn looking project.
Animated, kind of like it reminded me of Invincible, just from first glance.
Art style, yeah, I can see it. And if the actors that playing them in live action will also play them in animation, because he said you might get things that are animated, things that are not, which is good because that crosses the market, crosses the streams. One I'm really excited for, especially considering that I need to buy and watch Peacemaker.
Yes.
Because there was no confirmation whether that would go beyond a second season. Because I kind of think they would do a second season, then kind of go, we're done.
Leave it. Mm-hmm.
Because obviously the natural thing would be if you're rebooting everyone, then you need to get rid of everyone. Unfortunately, no matter how good his Suicide
Well, then some would
Squad
argue you didn't even
is.
see Peacemaker because the man was invisible. You
Very
can even
true.
see John Cena.
But we're getting a show with the Peacemaker team.
Yeah.
This maybe is kind of their thing after. We get with Waller.
Still
played by Viola Davis.
Yeah, reprising her role. Interacting with some characters from Peacemaker. That show will be overseen by Crystal Henry, who was a writer on the TV show Watchmen, which great, and Jeremy Carver, who created Doom Patrol. The series will sit between the first and second seasons of Peacemaker.
Oh, so because Peacemaker season 1 ends with the sort of incarceration and outing of Waller,
yeah, and she does kind of get taken away.
So it'll be that story of what happens because I'm assuming...
It's Prison Break with Amanda Waller. Maybe. Maybe. It could be.
Fucking please get Dominic fucking what's his name Oh, what's his...
Gleason.
I was going to say Dominic Toretto.
Guy Gardner. That is Guy Gardner, right? Ginger, Eilish. Donald Gleason. That was meant to be a joke, but I was kind of being serious.
Donald Gleason as Guy Gardner.
Yes.
No, but what's his name? Dominic... Dominic. No, I was going to say Toretto, but that's
no.
I'm thinking of the Prison Break guy that was in DC Legends of Tomorrow. Dominic Parcell or some shit.
Yeah, the actor. Yeah, the one who was in Prison Break.
Yes, him.
Fucking what's his name?
Get him in the show with Waller.
Yeah, no, do it and then do Prison Break. Yes.
Yeah. Do Prison Break again, but just superimpose Amanda Waller's
Dominic
face.
Purcell.
Purcell, yeah.
Purcell, yeah.
Yeah,
no, I was like, who's Dominic?
Yeah, because he's bald as well, so he kind of looks like Dominic Toretto. So
I mean, he could be the new Mark Strong. He could be Discount Mark Strong. He could be.
It's Mark Strong's brother.
He could be Discount Mark
Dave
Strong.
Week.
Dave Week.
Okay. EAK, not EEK. Not like Days of the Week. Yeah, this Waller thing.
Yeah, the Waller show, which is a follow-on to Suicide Squad, and will maybe lead into The Authority.
Possibly, because do you reckon we're going to have a Task Force X in this universe?
Potentially, or maybe the Authority, whoever they may be, might be the shareholder, and then maybe you can then get Suicide Squad versus Authority, like Civil War Thunderbolts team up, bang. Maybe that's a Phase 2 movie. I don't know.
That's a good idea.
A very broad outline as to why it happens. No idea, but maybe something like that.
We don't know. I like that. That's a decent shout. The Booster Gold
series or film?
Yes.
That is a series, yeah.
I'm excited for that.
That's one that's kind of been floating around like Blue Beetle. I can't believe both of them are happening.
Oh, you mentioned Blue Beetle, yeah, because he mentioned all the films, and he's like, because
at the beginning he was like, yeah, Flash, Aquaman, Shazam, and then he said Blue Beetle, yeah, which I think is in between. It's still this year. It's in between Flash and Aquaman.
Yes.
So it's like the third release this year.
Yes. Possibly. I don't know. Unless they fucking cancel it.
On Max. But
yeah. So we got the Paradise Lost TV show.
Game of Thrones in Themyscira.
Up for it.
Western thing. Yeah.
There's a fucking appeal for that because House of the Dragon's on, so people are gonna get their fix, and it's gonna be like, oh,
period piece, comic
this is probably gonna lead to the origin of Wonder Woman
in this universe. Yeah, definitely.
So we'll see how that works out. Will Gal Gadot be Wonder Woman? The answer is maybe. Yes, that's the perfect sound.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Lanterns, The Authority we've mentioned. I'm kind of just scrolling in random orders. Superman Legacy we kicked off. Waller. Scroll down now. Paradise Lost. Brave and the Bold. We touched a little bit.
Because he's the guy that comes back from the future.
Who travels back in time.
He's a bit of on my planet in the future. I'm kind of a loser, like you, Booster Gold.
So he's kind of Cable.
Yeah, because he comes back in time because he's basically a loser in his time, using the technology and available to him in his time. Comes back in time to turn himself into a bit Wonder Man-y in terms of he makes himself into a hero.
Yeah, he wants to become loved. He describes it as James Gunn describes this show as imposter syndrome in superhero form,
which is interesting. A great form into the male psyche.
But it could also be like a meta commentary similar to The Boys on like how people perceive heroes to be, and then they're arseholes. This could be the in between where it's like it could be the man who has it all, but really he's one of us. He's a idiot.
And it could also do those messages, but not in a harsh enough way because they won't because they're scared of losing a PG-13
and network. Yeah, exactly. Interference.
Booster Gold. I think if he's not snapped up by Marvel, it could be Taron Egerton.
Cool. Yes. A man who is an icon. He is a real hero, to us at least. But then really, behind the scenes, he's a right dollop. He's an idiot. No offence, Taron, we love you.
Yeah, I love Taron Egerton. I'd love to see him in something like that. I'd love to see him be
I think he could do it.
Kind of, because he'd be more of the Boy Scout hero, but if you throw the imposter syndrome stuff in there, it adds a layer to it that then makes it a lot more interesting for an actor to take on instead of just like I fly and all that shit. But was that it? Was there any more?
And then the horror themed one, which is another one like Green Lanterns. Really I was excited for,
especially coming after the back of fucking Werewolf by Night.
So of course they saw that and thought, oh, copy formula
head to head Swamp Thing.
Yeah, Man Thing versus the Swamp Thing.
What do we get? A straight out horror, yes.
Yeah, horror-inflicted origin story for the creature, one that still intersects with the rest of the DCU.
Let James Wan direct that. If you're not going to have him on any more Aquaman.
Yeah, there you go, yeah. cancel the trench. Let him do that. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Or James Gunn could direct it, because obviously like he started off in horror.
Body horror. It could be a body horror swamp thing movie. Yeah, I suppose either would work. James Gunn.
Or if he's not been employed again by Marvel, Sam Raimi.
Oh, I think we've fixed this universe.
Or depending on how, because if the Flash does well and makes enough money, Andy Muschietti. Who that name I keep forgetting. He's the It director, isn't he? Yes.
He's done other stuff. But
that's the main stuff we know him for. That's what us mainstreamers know him for. You can count along at home.
But I forget Muschietti because he hasn't done anything since It and the 6 versions of the Flash, which we're not going to see.
Well, he's like director number 6 or 7, isn't he?
In that long list, yeah.
Ironic. When we see it, it will kind of be like a. Muschietti put his touches in, but this movie's a piece of shit. I feel like it's going to be like that. It's like this is terribly bloated and overcomplicated because it was retroactively made into a universe reset
again. But for real this time. Yeah.
We got to go back to the DC universe again.
Oh jeez, Rick, I don't want to die. Oh. Sorry, Rick, we couldn't use my voice actor because we've been bought over by Marvel.
And we had to sack you because you're a horrible, horrible person. But
I won't do it again. Can I get my job back, please? I'm sorry.
Justin Roiland, how did you get it?
I don't know.
If Sean Kelly off TikTok does not become the voice of Rick and Morty, there is something seriously wrong because his impression is fucking top dollar.
Spot on.
Like Roiland previously reacted to it and said, like, this guy is. Like, if we both recorded stuff, you wouldn't be able to tell which one's which. But yeah, for the most part of chapter 1, it sounds great.
It does. There's not one of them I kind of gone.
In theory. In execution, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Because we've been burnt by a DC universe before.
Believe it or not, I've been there with you.
Let's go for it. Right, Man of Steel. Wasn't that bad.
No, it was basically Batman the movie with a cape.
Yes, it's the most sort of salvageable out of, I think, the early stuff.
Yeah, the early stuff. Phase 1 of DC, yeah.
That first phase that took like 3 years.
3 years.
To make 2 movies.
Yeah.
Batman v Superman, the worst one for me. For my money, it is worse than the next one, Suicide Squad. Just because Suicide Squad, I can at least go, fuck me, like, what is this?
How did this get greenlit? Yeah.
And, it's probably... But then the best thing about Batman v Superman was Ben Affleck. And then the worst thing about Justice League was Ben Affleck. Wonder Woman.
2 different timelines there.
Right until the very end.
Exactly. It was a damn good movie.
CGI heavy third act, but apart from that, decent.
Yeah.
Aquaman. No, just Justice League.
Justice League, that's right, yeah.
Not as bad as I remember it. Very under average. Not the worst.
A product there for the consumers to consume, but other than that,
studio intervention, the movie.
Yeah, studio intervention, the movie. But hey, no one will know this. No one's got the internet. No one will know. If this was genuinely like early 2000s and none of us
found out.
Unless
we read like fucking Total Film magazine.
If we hadn't had known, if no one had known, then this would be it's good, but movie. It's fine, but because of everything and the real life scenarios, it did the most damage for me, personally.
It was, it was a part. They were on the spiral because, like, you had Wonder Woman had to be good, and Justice League had to carry on being good.
But I mean, obviously, offer the damage of Batman vs Superman as well. Like that definitely did. That was the first stab.
Yeah, because that didn't help. Then the studio's like, we got to change tact on this, and then obviously you had the unfortunate circumstance that meant that Zack Snyder couldn't finish Justice League. So then you had
Wonder Woman was like a bandage. Wonder Woman was like a bandage.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad
was like a bandage that got a bit wet in the shower. It was starting to peel off.
Yeah, it was starting to peel off. Yeah, right.
And then Justice League 2017 was someone brought a pickaxe into my eyes.
Yeah.
And then I just kept bleeding out and no one was helping me. And Aquaman was just
four different movies.
Was just the first aid guy standing next to me going, "Hey, you just need a paper towel." No. Aquaman,
horror, love story, action. Something else.
Indiana Jones adventure style.
Right, 4 movies.
Yeah, if it had picked one and stuck with it and doubled down on it, I'd be happy because Yahya Abdul-Mateen is a very good villain. Bit pantomime in places, especially.
Probably arguably the most comic accurate villain suit though.
Yeah, very nice. And Jason Momoa had charisma
and reinvented the character for modern audiences.
Shazam.
fun, quirky comedy that I really underestimated.
Yeah, easily top 2 for me.
Yeah, definitely my favourite out of all the ones we mentioned.
Yes.
I think
Birds of Prey. I really enjoyed Birds of Prey. I think that's top 3. I think that's third for me. I think it is Birds of Prey, Shazam, and Shazam and the Suicide Squad a bit further ahead than Birds of Prey, but not by much.
Yeah, there's a bit of leap, but yeah,
I do like Birds of Prey because I love that Margot Robbie was like, if I'm going to be on this, I'm going to be on it. Like, I'm going to be a producer, I'm going to be across it. I want to portray this character in the best way possible
and do it justice. Yeah.
Then what else did we have?
After Birds of Prey, then you had the world shutting down for a bit because that was pre-COVID.
Wonder Woman 84.
Oh, that was a critical hit. That was a critical hit. I
watched that on Prime. Bad.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it at the cinema. No, yeah,
bad.
That was disgusting. That was a nothing movie.
Good, but it wasn't.
No.
Do that meme, but with Pedro Pascal saying it actually wasn't good.
I wonder what you do. Life is good, but it could be a lot better.
Snyder Cut. Oh, I get why it exists and why people like it, but for me, the damage was already the first stab. For me, the corpse was already drained, and I was kind of like, "This is a pointless."
This is a dead body floating in the river.
Yeah,
stop trying to drag it out of the river.
Yeah, it's done. Like, stop! He's already dead.
Put it in a portal somewhere where we don't have to talk about it again. Mm-hmm. Keep it in its own little bubble.
Yes, float it off like Zod in the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, right.
And then was it? Is it really Black Adam?
No, to the Suicide Squad, James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad.
2021's their best year.
Easily the best DC EU project, and possibly, depending on how the films go, could if it's still technically part of that universe because it's the timeline that leads up to the reset.
Yeah.
Could be the best thing that they've made in terms of a shared universe. I really like it, and it birthed a great TV show that I'm yet to watch that I have heard nothing but outstanding.
Still kept the momentum. Yeah, kept the momentum off of that. Yeah.
And then is it Black Adam?
Film-wise, Black Adam, yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
The new average.
The
higher. Someone did a video on TikTok. It was the hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change when he says that speech, and then it cuts to the news articles of like Cavalcart, like the lies he told about Black Adam making money, and then the reboot with James Gunn, and it's like he wasn't wrong.
Well, he weren't wrong, but
he just meant it in a different way.
Yeah. He was breaking the fourth wall.
He was. And then we're going to get Shazam 2, excited for, but months. Zachary Levi's an anti-vaxxer, so...
Oh, controversial.
So there's the whole stuff going around about, Pfizer is like, has had like detrimental and permanent health effects on some people that have had it. I think Pfizer was my first one, and then... No, I was either a Pfizer and I was an AstraZeneca.
I think I've only had Zenecas.
And then I think my top up was Pfizer because it got to a point where it's like, oh no, you can have any of them. But I thankfully, touch wood, had no adverse health effects. But someone said something about Pfizer being like, something or whatever, and it was basically like saying about how it's affected. It's it's a load of shit or whatever. And Zachary Levi quote tweeted it with strong agree, and it's like, oh fuck. Because a lot of people have gone, and there I was, excited for Shazam 2. Which
to quote Ben Mendelsohn, you were this close. You were this close.
You were this close to greatness.
Yeah, you were this close. Yeah.
But I'm still going to see Shazam, because we might as well at this point just fucking limp across the finish line.
Universe. Yeah, finally.
But James Gunn on it has said, I can't be changing my plans all the time because an actor says something I don't agree with. Actors and filmmakers that I work with are going to say things that I agree with and things that I don't agree with, which I think also comes from the fact that this guy was cancelled for old jokes or attempted to be cancelled for stuff before, so he gets that stuff can be said in jest, or like people can have those kind of opinions, like you can disagree with them, but it's not going to stop someone from thinking that exact same thing. So that hasn't stopped him from basically saying that the door is open for Zachary Levi, Jason Momoa, Gal Gadot,
yeah.
Anyone else?
I think
Ezra as well. Basically the stars of the upcoming DC movies
for this year,
and Gal Gadot, because obviously Wonder Woman 3 was like it's not happening in that form. There will probably be a Wonder Woman movie after Paradise Lost.
Definitely.
But the door is open for them to carry on in the universe, presumably still as their characters, which I'm down for, especially if you're going to wrap up an Aquaman trilogy, depending on how, because Aquaman 2 is going to lead into Superman Legacy and the new dawn of the new universe. So that's interesting. I want to see how that works.
Yeah.
Because retroactively, that film's done, isn't it?
I believe, yeah.
So
it was done ages ago.
So they're going to make that, like, there'll probably be some reshoots to then line that up with...
I reckon they'll go for a swim in the post-credits. They will enter one Atlantis, they'll come out the other Atlantis, and all of a sudden you'll see shit in the sky and, like, a cape and Wonder Woman. You'll see the new differences, and it will be because of what happens in The Flash. It will be like WandaVision and Loki. They will both sync at the same... One rewatch, they'll both sync, and that's when Flashpoint Rebirth happened, and the new DCEU begins.
Yeah.
Maybe. Something like that.
But, like, they said that they're going to let Ezra take their time to do what they're doing at the moment and, like, you know, try and make themselves a better person before they discuss their future with DC.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Yeah, so, and Zachary Levi, like, I'm up for, because he obviously previously, like we said before, it was like, you know, don't believe everything you read, but also, like, you know, if this is the end, I'm grateful I got to make what I make, there might be an opportunity for me to make more, kind of thing. Essentially saying the talks hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Like, James hadn't got round to speaking to them. Obviously, his first port of call was Henry Cavill because, you know, for his mind, it wasn't a thing of sacking Henry Cavill. It was Henry Cavill was never cast.
Yes.
He was tasked with making a new universe, and Superman, as he should be the forefront and the focal point of that.
The starting point.
Should be sat atop the others. They should be the main focus.
The echelon.
And rightly so, and he wanted to do it with a young character, but it's kind of like, if you're going to have some of them carry... It's the Netflix Marvel recast problem.
Yes.
Now that we've had Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio back, you presumably, if we see Jessica Jones, Luke Cage or Iron Fist again, we're going to want Finn Jones, Mike Coulter and Kristen Riddle,
all of them.
respectively.
All reprising, yeah. It would be odd if you had all of them and then you had -1.
Yeah, because when it was a thing of they're rebooting it, as sad as it was, because as good as Suicide Squad and Peacemaker was, it was either you've got to use what you've got and make that work now, like rejig it so it's them, but maybe something slightly different has happened to them, so they're different versions of the same character, but they're still playing them, or you have a clean wipe. It's the Fox problem, because Fox wanted to reboot the X-Men to get them all back in line of continuity. I think after like X-Men 2 or 3.
Oh, okay.
I think after maybe the original trilogy, because obviously when they were struggling because they wanted to do like a 4, 5, and 6, but you know, characters were dead, other stuff happened. But they were like, we can't do it because otherwise we lose Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, so we've got to carry on as we are, which is why they semi-reboot it with the First Class squad. It's interesting because this is the first like film universe that is fully rebooting. Like,
I guess it is. You're right.
They've had an attempt,
Mm-hmm.
obviously a fumbled attempt because it felt like they never really got going.
Out
of the blocks.
They didn't get going. No.
Had they sort of done 10, 15 films where there had been another Justice League, maybe another team up, and they'd been more linked, because after I think after Aquaman the links stopped. Like Shazam's very independent. Like James Gunn even says like Shazam's very much been in their own universe. Same with Blue Beetle. Obviously, Aquaman's the only one, and the Flash are the only ones coming out that have interacted with others.
Yeah, of course.
Like in terms of the others in their other films.
Huh.
So that might be hard, but for them, because like Blue Beetle, I want to just carry over. Like whoever's, I forget who's playing Blue Beetle, but have them, carry on being Blue Beetle in the DCU, because
of course
that will be very isolated and standalone, and then you introduce it into like that world. That's easier to do than to rein everything back in and change it round.
Yeah, and even why would you bring it out if you were going to do this 2023 movie and then go right, new Blue Beetle over here? Like, you'd be no point. We've had no audience prior connections to the characters. The first time they've actually had any media portrayal, so you wouldn't want to then just go, never mind, this exists and
pull the rug out from under you, kind of thing. Yeah,
but you wouldn't do it.
It's going to be interesting to see how this happens. I don't think it's going to go gangbusters on its first few. I think Superman will draw everyone in because it will be an actual Superman for the first time since 2013.
Ooh.
Or even
2006. If some might go, to Batman.
Well, yeah, because he
it was a dark Superman essentially.
Yeah, it's true, very much.
It's
so
like a dark Superman.
The last, Superman Returns. Shit, man.
2006.
So
19 years.
It'll be 19 years since a full-on Superman.
Yeah, full-on
proper Superman.
Boy of Steel, Man of Steel. Yeah, Boy Scout thing. Yeah. Bloody hell.
That's gonna draw some people in. The Batman stuff will. I think where you're gonna win or lose people is on like. So where does Robert Pattinson's Batman fit in? Because when the DC stuff comes up, if they're missing that, if they're somehow oblivious to the big Elseworlds shit that they're seeing,
they've got to have it on the poster or in the
in?
intro of the film. You've got to have a DC Elseworlds like banner or something in it. Yeah.
But also when Matt Reeves was asked about it before, like, would you introduce like other DC characters into your world? Like, would you have a Superman? He's like, I've never like thought about it, but I'd be open to it. Like, if there's justness in the story for it, like I would do it, but it would have to be our own one in this
Elseworld Superman. Yeah, you would.
And then you'd have to make it clear that he like to have those like the aliens and all the things like because
the comic fantastical elements in that gritty world.
Superman in that universe would have to be the first like
big change
cosmic being.
Agreed.
Like, you have to be that.
Get that.
That first like focus, because you couldn't just be like, here's Martian Manhunter and then Superman and then all these things.
The fact that you're getting the Martians in a real gritty detective-filled comic world, that would be a bit of a weird one. But Superman makes sense.
Yeah.
Then you can do Superman versus the Martians.
We'll see how it works. But
should they continue?
Excited for the Superman movie. I'm excited. All the TV shows intrigue me, specifically getting some actual Green Lantern content out of DC.
Finally.
The Waller stuff, especially if it's leading on from Peacemaker.
Yeah.
And even the Themyscira, like Game of Thrones fantasy shit. Like,
prequel.
Yeah, man. People eat that shit up. Me included.
HBO.
I am ready. But I think we'll be won and lost on when we get to our first crossover. And if it doesn't work as well, maybe they kind of pack it up and say, just do your like they go, because then if DC are the ones that end up just being like, look, let's just make standalone shit, like that's not a bad thing, because then it means that we can go into a Superman movie, watch it, and not think, oh, how does this link to the first Batman
must
movie?
Rewatch 4 or 5 movies in a week or whatever your watch length is. People don't have the time to do that. A lot of people don't. No.
But this first chapter will make or break it, probably. So we will see how we go
in 2 to 3 years' time. How this universe is going to be.
Until then. There's not much to say apart from thank you for listening to us dribble on about DC.
I know, but in a good way, in a positive way.
I think we're very positive.
In a reboot way.
Yeah, you'll see more stuff on that as it comes out. You can get in contact with us
at nerdbiblecontact@gmail.com.
And what's the link?
At gmail.com. That email I brought up earlier.
Yes.
Go www.gmail.com.
Exactly.
Mail.com.
Email.com.
Shit.
And what's the social media you got to do? What's the
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Genuinely TikTok. All pasty sheep across all the socials.
It is.
Socials.
Sean Connery's here. So, if you want to see some movie reviews and short form,
instant reaction.
That's very good. It's very good
reaction.
Yes.
All the
short form stuff. Like reviews, unboxings, and other stuff behind the scenes.
Development.
I feel like neither of us are very much Sean Connery.
We're just kind of slurring with a shake.
We're a bit like, when they dub over George Lazenby on Emergency Secret Service as fucking Hillary. Welcome to the Hillary Bray of podcasts.
Oh dear.
But thank you very much for listening and watching and absorbing our content as you continue to do. We will see you next week for more, hopefully,
geeky rambles
in more ways than one. That's not an ant, that's a bee.
B-Man coming to Quantum.
B-Man. Bees. Bees. B-Man. Let's quick. What's he going to call his ant in this one?
Ant no more knee.
There you go.
Anthony no more. Just Anthony no more. Anton Deck. Anton Deck.
Anton Deck.